Welcome back. This is Hope at Dawn right here at Hope TV, where you look and you live. Being a Monday, it's all about financial matters, and we are here to try and learn, avoid some pitfalls, avoid some mistakes that we have done in the past. And that is why we have this segment each and every Monday to ensure that we are learning. It is the financial fitness segment. And today we are talking about insurance. We are going to understand insurance. We are going to look at the myths about insurance, the misunderstandings, the many things that have been said about insurance. That is what we are doing today. That is what we are looking at today as we try and understand matters insurance. Be part of the show. What is your experience if you have insurance, the different policies? What is your experience? What has your experience been with these different insurance policies, insurance companies? Be a part of the show. Hope TV Kenya. That's across all our social media platforms. We are also live on our YouTube channel. We are live as well on TikTok. So we have ensured that we are getting you, or rather you are able to get us in whichever platform that you are in. You also can seek clarity. Any question you could be having in as far as today's topic is concerned, you can get us on WhatsApp 0708 222 323. Right about now, allow us to welcome our guest. She's not a guest. She actually has been here a number of times, and so she is a good friend of ours as well. We are talking about Elizabeth Waithaka. She is a money coach, a trainer, and also she is an author, and she has her books with her, even as we talk about matters insurance. Elizabeth, good morning and karibu sana to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad and honored to be here
Karibu.
For another time to talk about personal finance fitness.
Definitely.
In the area of insurance. Yes, thank you.
You're well?
Yeah, I'm well. I've been fine.
Awesome.
The Lord has been good to me.
Amen.
Amen.
Good to have you back as well.
Yeah.
And also, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, because you have this, this gifting of breaking down all these conversations in a manner that we laymen can understand, because they are one of the biggest challenge when it comes to money matters and matters insurance and all is the jargons, and it looks so complicated that now even trying to apply the same in our lives becomes a challenge. So it's such an honor to have you. For the sake of someone who is joining us for the very first time, a brief introduction of yourself.
Thank you so much once again. My name is Elizabeth Waithaka. I am a money coach. I'm a trainer, and by the grace of God, I am in the area of personal finance. Yes. And I know it's a calling. It is in the will and the purposes of God. For us, as His children, we are all the children of God, for us to enjoy abundance. And there's a lot of things, maybe, let me not say a lot so that people don't feel like they are getting scared. Yes. There are a few things that we may want to look at or to put order in our personal finances so that we can get there. The Lord calls us to be good stewards of the sources He puts in our hands, financial and otherwise. So today we are talking about finances, especially the field of insurance, and people feel like they are jargons. Yeah. And because personally this morning I'm a coach, I teach children about money. We try to bring it closer home. Yes. We try to avoid the jargons. Yes. We try to bring it in a way that anybody can consume and understand insurance as a tool of personal finance management. Yeah. It's a very key tool. Yes. Insurance.
Thank you. Thank you for that, and karibu sana to today's show. And so be part of the show as well. Any question, any clarity you would want to know in as far as insurance is concerned, keep them coming across our social media platforms and also using our WhatsApp platform. Let's start from the basics. Elizabeth, when you talk of insurance, what is insurance? What does it mean?
Insurance and what it means. Yeah. Your car has a spare wheel, always, even if you may never need it. But it is there.
Yes.
Or when you carry an umbrella, even if it's not raining,
Yeah.
because you're sure you'll need it.
Yes.
Yeah, so most of us, almost all of us, we have got an umbrella.
Yeah.
Or a spare wheel for our cars that can remain there for many, many days. But one day you find yourself needing it for one reason or another. That's about insurance for personal finances. It's being able to transfer risk. It's about protection.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all want to be protected one way or another from something. You know that surely it will rain someday. You may not know when.
Yeah.
Or you know you can have a puncture.
Yes.
You may not know where, but you may not have it. So insurance is the same for something that we may not anticipate, but we know it is likely to be there. Yeah. So we put something in place. We put a plan in place so that in case it happens, we are covered. Every morning, as much as my car has got insurance, or it is covered, it is protected. Every morning before I leave, I pray, please God, I pray that I'll not touch anybody's car, or nobody will touch mine, or I will not touch somebody's property, or a person walking, or something like that, even though my car has insurance. But in case it happens, because it can happen for things that you may not control, at least there is a plan to protect you, because it may not come at the time when you are ready.
True.
Yeah, so that's why we always have insurance in place for protection, to shield us from the shocks of life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. And in the process also you have touched something that also I would want us, and actually that is where we will camp a little bit in terms of when we are looking at the different types of insurances that we have, and especially in our nation, Kenya. And the one which is obvious, and for many people, they think this I think is the only one that is out there. We have the motor vehicle insurances. It may not be as common as we would expect. Also, motorbikes, nduvi, they also should have insurance and all. So what are some of the different types of insurance that we have in Kenya?
We actually need insurance for different purposes. And for that reason, we have different types of insurance. But generally, or looking at it wholesomely, insurance types are just two, the categories.
Yes.
We've got the general insurance, we've got the life insurance. Those are the...
So general insurance and life insurance. Okay.
Yeah, those are the two basic categories. But now under each, there are different now covers.
Awesome.
To cover different things.
Yes.
Like when we talk about, I think we just start with talk about general insurance. What you've just said, the car insurance. In Kenya, you are not supposed to drive a car without insurance.
That's
so car insurance is very, very common.
Yeah.
And when people hear of insurance, the first thing that comes to their minds is car insurance. Yet it is much more wider than that.
Yeah.
And actually, with the upsurge of motorbikes, some years, motorbikes is an emerging issue. And they are all over the road. And they are also prone to the risks. Or maybe, and they have caused maybe a lot of havoc. As much as it is something that is necessary. So it covers, general insurance covers the motor insurance, and I think the motorbikes are covered there. It covers even health insurance is part of, you see, there's health and there's critical illness. You need to draw a line. Critical illness is at the life insurance. But health insurance, it's at the general insurance. It's something that is renewed every year. It is to cover for your health. We've got different types of general insurance. Nowadays we've got car insurance. Cancer insurance. Pet insurance is at the general insurance to cover for things like fire, floods, those perils that can happen. Those are the general insurance, And there are many, many other types under the general insurance. We've got this other head, the life insurance. life insurance is wider than is for the life.
Yeah.
It's for the car insurance. We are able to measure it in monetary terms. Like this car is worth how many thousands of shillings. So we're able to take a cover that is maybe that or closer there. But with life insurance, we may not value life. Yeah, life cannot be valued. And there are also different categories under the life insurance. It is in case of death, because nobody knows how many more days we've been given.
Yeah.
So, and life insurance covers for our dependents. Maybe some of us have got small children, people who depend on them, causes that they care about, and in case of loss of life, the insurance comes in as a shield for your dependents, for those causes that you care about. That's where it comes in. I talked about health insurance being in the general insurance and critical illness insurance being under life.
Yes.
Health insurance is in case you wake up and you have a stomach problem, you have a cold, you need to be attended to.
Yes.
And that will not come when the money is there, you know. You cannot predict when something can go wrong. You may cut yourself and you may need some medical attention. That's health insurance. Critical illness insurance is those other big words that we talk about. And I think, I don't know if I should go there at this point. We have experienced some conditions of health that require a lot of medical attention, and they require a lot of medical resources. Things like cancer, for example. Things like kidney failure. And we have seen, especially in Kenya, many of our people going outside maybe to seek that treatment. So the critical illness cover, and many people are not aware of it, starts in that space. So that you do not create a lot of wealth, and that's why we say the insurance is a tool of personal finance planning. You don't create a lot of wealth here, but when a sickness happens, or if it happens, you find yourself selling all those properties, disposing all that wealth, because again, health comes first. So that's where the critical illness, and many people are not aware there is a small something that you can do on the side to protect you or your loved ones from maybe getting into unnecessary medical, financial burdens, maybe because of sickness. That one is able to take care. So I'm trying to bring out the difference between life and general, and maybe what each covers. Yes.
All right. You know, you have mentioned something in terms of setting aside some money and now paying for this policy, and then when that rainy day comes, it will be able to help you. Having listened to different people and the different expectations that different people have on these different policies, there's a lot of fear. I don't know what you've heard in terms of uptake of insurance is there. So what are some of the myths? Let's start from the myths.
The myths that
when it comes to insurance. And now being a money coach, I believe you have had so many stories, so many things being said about insurance. What are some of them?
As a money coach, I can tell you, and we said insurance is a tool of personal finance planning. We need insurance to be able to put order in our money. But let me not use the word but, maybe it's so strong. However, many people have not really embraced insurance and what it does. Mostly it is out of maybe ignorance. My Bible reminds me that my people perish for lack of knowledge. And the uptake of insurance, especially in Kenya, is still at very low levels. So many people are not covered by insurance. And when things happen, or when life happens, because life happens, and I pray that it will not happen to us, but life happens. Many people find themselves in financial catastrophes just because that knowledge of insurance was not there, and because of that, the uptake is still very, very low. The last number of years, we've been looking at just 3% in Kenya, 3% as the penetration of insurance. Recently, I looked at the statistics. At least now we are at 5%. I think we are also doing good, and even a show like this is shedding a lot of light. But the myths, they are real. Like, there are people who look at insurance. When you go somewhere and you say, I come here to talk about insurance, people just want to run away. Because they are thinking, insurance, there are people who take people's money and they don't deliver, which is not the case. When somebody maybe was taking a policy, whether it's a general or a life insurance policy, they did not get to know exactly what that policy covers. They were just ready, because insurance has got a lot of jargon, a lot of paperwork, a lot of reading between the lines, a lot of fine print. And normally and generally, people feel lazy. You don't want to go through the jargons and the paperwork and the reading. So somebody just signed. They never got to know what is covered and what is not covered. So as a result, when something happens and they are told, no, this was not part of the policy or part of the things that were covered, they feel like they have been swindled of their money, which is not the case. So we have got that myth of people thinking insurance, they steal our money. They don't. I can confirm that, and they are regulated, but it is a myth. So that's thinking that they take our money and not deliver. It's one of the biggest myths. There's also a myth that insurance will help us make wealth. Well, it is not far from it, because it will protect our wealth, not make wealth. You don't go to insurance for you to profit. So people may go there again. I think it's also an extension of ignorance, expecting to make a profit out of it. Yet it is for protection. There's a myth that the market, what the market offers is not adequate. Yet it is the lack of knowledge that is not there. The agents, and being a personal finance trainer or a money coach, I'm also an agent of insurance. People have got some perception towards maybe insurance agents, and because of that, they are not able to be open to them, to be able to have their adequacy, their insurance requirements well evaluated. So they end up being either underinsured or overinsured. Or they say like people are just coming to make profit out of them, which is not the case. It benefits the client more than it benefits the insurance company or the agents. So a lot of knowledge is required to be given to the people so that they are able to take insurance from an informed perspective and to be able to weigh their insurance needs.
I'm listening to you, and I think I'm one of those people who are very pessimistic when it came to matters insurance. And when I saw them, I would actually, because I remember I had two. I think, there was a lady and a gentleman. And, they are very, when you tell them, call me, at times we tell them, like now we're in February.
In February.
So you tell them already you have made your year resolutions and insurance was not part of it. You just call me in January.
Yes.
They call you. I remember there was one who called me. I was like, you still remember 1 year later, So you said about them not, taking your money away and all. But the feeling, this is the feeling. And maybe the reason why people fear is that when I'm taking this policy, you are very friendly to me. You are very accessible to me and all. Up until I need to make a claim. Then all of a sudden, the phone calls are not being answered. Now all of a sudden you refer me to the office and all.
Yes.
What are some of the, to take us through, I know that you have mentioned the different categories and the types of insurance. Take us through a normal, practical claim process.
Okay.
So that people may feel that, yes, indeed, this thing can actually work. And this is the way, maybe they were going the wrong way because I know like now for a car accident, there is a process. For a medical process, again, there is a process for the claim. What are the practical...
The claim process, it does not start from the claim. It starts from the point you signed the insurance contract. It's only that at that point we are signing, we said that people don't want to read through the jargon or through the paperwork. Where are you signing, Elizabeth? Show me where to put the signature. I just put my I'm rushing through it. And people are eager to do that. And even as I go through the claim process, one of the things I should have said, and that's one of the things we are teaching children, is about delayed gratification. Why again there is a challenge with insurance is because unlike when I go to buy this blouse in a shop, I'll go put in my money, come out with the blouse. But insurance, if for something that may happen in future, which you may not be sure that if at all it will happen. So because of that, people are very hesitant, and we were not taught delayed gratification. Okay, but now the claim. Maybe I took an insurance for my vehicle or for my child that will last 5-10 years. At least with general insurance is an annual thing. But with life insurance, something that can go on for quite a number of years. But now it does not. It starts from the time of signing the contract. And it moves from you assessing your needs, or I as an insurance agent helping you assess your needs. Like you've got children, you'd want to have an education insurance for them, because maybe by the time they want to access that education, there's a passage of time between now and then, and all kinds of things can happen. Or the vehicle, you want to access these roads, and they're everybody, and you don't know who is driving which vehicle, and it's not about you. So at that point, for example, if you are covering your vehicle, have you included perils like riots? And in the recent past, we've seen a lot of riots happening. So was that covered, was that clause covered in the insurance contract you signed? Okay? So it is at that point that when signing the contract, you ensure that I've covered for accidents, I've covered for the third party, for the driver, for the pedestrian, for anybody who may be in the vehicle, for fire. I'm just giving as an example, for the riots we have talked about. So why the ignorance that is there at the point of signing and people not going through the paperwork is now what to make at the point of claim, it becomes difficult. Because for sure, if you did not cover for, like riot, for example, in that vehicle, insurance will not pay. They will pay for the perils that are covered. And because now people are insistent, and when something happens, when we are at a loss or when we have had difficult situations, we are always overwhelmed. So we want help as much as possible. We don't go back to check what did we sign for. And that is where the calls go unanswered. Because I tried to explain to you, Gigi, we did not cover for riots. And that is what has affected your car, for example. But you're still feeling your car has been lost. For you, it's a wholesome thing. But for us, for the insurance, it is the perils that are covered. So we need to really understand how insurance works and not go rushing when we are signing those contracts, so that the problem does not start from the claim. It starts from the point of signing the contract. That's good to hear, clarity. I know there was a movie I was watching the other day, and there was an element of insurance and all. And what came out of that, because the lady was having a chronic illness and all. And so when she went now for treatment and all, the insurance said, you can't use your policy because it was part of the chronic, it's a chronic illness and it is not covered using this. But then again, they were saying, one of the lady who works for that company was saying,
as a company, they also try to exploit some of the gray areas when it comes to payment of claims.
Okay.
So how do we ensure that as someone who has this insured, gotten into this insurance, I ensure that I'm okay, I'm well covered, so that at no point when I'm making my claim will I be told, because this was a gray area, we won't honor the payment.
And gray areas, by the way, they are not much. Why there is a lot of paperwork with the insurance. Like when we are defining the critical illness or the chronic illness, we always say that contract of insurance, it is specified to the letter. If it is the loss of an arm or the loss of a finger, it is very, very clearly put there to minimize the gray areas, to make sure that it is as clear as possible. So, number one is familiarizing yourself with what is covered. What is your insurable interest? Are you overcovered or undercovered? Underinsured. The word is underinsured or overinsured. So the thing is to understand. If I'm covering for my health insurance, for example, what is the limit? And that may look like a lot of things to understand. But yet they define them very, very clearly. Most of them, the insurance contract have got very little gray areas if they are there. So it's good for you to know what is my insurable interest, what are my limits, what is covered and what is not covered. Please read through the paperwork or request the insurance provider to interpret everything for you, so that at least we know where we are covered, so that we don't feel like we are being exploited by the insurance company or by the insurance provider, yet it's maybe our own limitations, our own lack of knowledge. Like, for example, when we talk about the difference between a critical illness cover and health insurance, that is one thing that I talk to people and they are like, what do you mean? They tend to feel like when I have got health insurance,
for a health insurance,
I'm covered.
It will cater for everything else.
And it will not. It will not. Because this, for example, this other one covers for things that do not happen on a day-to-day basis. Not the normal daily or occasional sicknesses. It is for those big things that may not even come. And also even to know what are the age limits. Because again, people feel as people grow older, the risk of some illnesses become even more and even higher. So it is good. Knowledge is power. For us to familiarize ourselves, work closely, and even as we are looking for the insurance provider. That's also another challenge that we always experience. I want the cheapest insurance cover for the best price, the best cover, yet the cheapest
contribution.
So we find ourselves getting not very adequate or not very reliable insurance providers, and it becomes a problem. That's they look at the capacity, the due diligence, and actually that is the word. We need to learn how to do due diligence of the people who are providing for us insurance solutions, investment solutions. Like there are some investment options that are tied to insurance. They come together, like education insurance. It has got an aspect of investment and an aspect of insurance. They are combined together because you want to protect what is important to you. So the due diligence to know who is the insurance provider, what are their capacity, what is their claim history. Don't just go running after the price. Look at do they pay claims? It is good for you to look at that, because we may not again eliminate or study and say we don't have people who may want to do funny things. It has happened in the past. So it's good for you to weigh your insurance provider. Adequacy of capital, and they are required, and because most insurance providers are regulated by insurance regulatory authority. They will be required to provide even their financials. Even as agents of insurance, we are required to be audited for us to have that regulation. Please, part of your due diligence as you're seeking insurance is to find that they are regulated. They are up to date, and that data is usually available even in the RRA website. You don't have to go out of your way. It is just available to know who is regulated, who is not, to know who has passed there, and they are very, very keen. So those are some of the things that we need to check before we get into an insurance contract. Yes.
All right. You have mentioned education policy. That's another one also that a lot of misunderstanding. People really we don't understand when we talk of that education policy and what it entails. The one thing, now that you had mentioned earlier, when you mention education policy, it's not, I don't think it's short term. Talk to us about the education policy and how people should go about it.
I think as part of contingency planning, we may want, I don't know whether we will have time for that, to go into each of them, or at least some of them.
Yes, let's do it.
But
have some minutes.
Education insurance is the most basic. And it is to cater for maybe your children, your dependents' education, because it is not something that is short term. It is something that may take some time. Between the time when a baby is born and maybe the time they are going to high school or JSS, there's a passage of time. But then you tell yourself, most people give birth, and there's a way God orders things, that we give birth when we are younger, stronger, healthier, able to work. So you are able to keep something for tomorrow or for your children to make sure that their education is covered, whether or not you are there, or whether or not whatever happens to you or to your spouse or to the people who are the guardians of that child. So education insurance, for example, is to cater for education, and even it gives your money an opportunity to grow. Mostly the education plan is a combination of an investment and a protection plan. An investment is to show that your money is still working, even as you are working yourself. So that's not only you who is working for your money. Your money is working, and money is a faithful servant. My Bible tells me it is only bad when it becomes a master. Okay? So education insurance helps in that you're able to keep some amount away, slowly by slowly, retro by retro. And then when comes to that time, it becomes at least something that will help with the children education. We have seen our children, especially with the upsurge of CBC, and even before, some courses can be extremely, extremely expensive to afford. And children have dreams. And sometimes they may end up not achieving those dreams because we have not had something to finance their dreams. And dreams can be quite expensive. So education insurance, that is what it does. I've had many myths in the field about education insurance, being in that space, that it does not give a lot of returns, like it is a waste. People have used that word, and it is not true. Everything, I think I wish I can say it in Kiswahili, kila kitu iko na mahali pake. Okay? What other investment option does will not do what education insurance does. There's nothing that will complement it. There's nothing like it in the market. And maybe to compare it, like if you take an investment policy for your children and an education plan, they may look like you are both investing for the education. But this is where the divide comes. Because this has got more of a protection plan, and it is defined. In case anything happens to you, and especially those policies that mature in case of death or maybe a disability. In case something happens to you, this money will be paid immediately. And maybe that baby is 5 or 10 years. and you needed that education plan to finance their university education, what tells you that if it is paid when they are 10, that it will last up to the time they go to it will not be there. But in case of an education plan, as much as people say that they may look at it from a different perspective, it will be paid at the point where you as a parent said, I'm taking an education plan for my child who is 3 years now, but it will be paid when they are 15. That one is cast on stone. It will be paid that time, the time when they are 15. So whatever dreams that your child had, or you are dependent, they'll be able to achieve it. Because the possibilities, the chances of the money being diverted is not there. So it is good for us to be able to embrace it as an education plan, or for the protection of our dependents. And apart from the protection, it comes with so many other benefits. It gives you a disciplined way of saving, for example. Because if you say that you will not take it, I don't think you'll find that money. No. It will still go one way or another. But if you're able to put it in an education plan, even as you work now that you are younger and you are stronger, you have a disciplined way of saving. You have it at that point when you have defined it. It gives you tax relief, 15% tax relief of the amount you are contributing. That's not bad. That's money back to you. And it gives you peace of mind. You'll be able even to work better knowing that my dependents are covered. Whether or not I'm there or I'm not there, or whatever happens in life, because again we said life is so full of things that we may not predict. I know that my children's dreams will be taken care of, or my dependents, or the causes that I care about. So it's a very important insurance for us to have, an education insurance, in addition to many others. So mostly that one is to finance your dependents' dreams.
Awesome. Good to hear that. And if you would help us in terms of, and this one, because life happens. Let's face it. Life happens and all. So I had taken this policy, and which is the best, either health or education policy. And then let's take education policy. I had taken, say, a 10-year
10-year plan
for this education policy. I've contributed 7 years solid, because I was working, as you said, energetic and all. But it is the one cast on stone that I will get it at year 10.
Yes.
8th year we enter, I'm unable to contribute.
COVID happens,
exactly. And for 7 years, without fail, religiously, I'm contributing. 7 good years. 8th year we enter, first month, yes, second month, 4th month, during COVID, I'm not able to contribute.
Your job has been affected.
Exactly. What happens?
Thank you even for bringing that across. Maybe I would have forgotten to say.
Yes.
And it's a very, very important, part of the information. Because it is not, again, a dead end. That when we say 10 years, we are dead end into the 10 years. There are always options, and insurance providers, especially based on who you are working with, they give options. And let me tell you, there are more than there are 3 options that you can take in case that happens with an education plan, and with many others maybe we'll continue discussing. Option number 1 is that you can do something we call surrender. Surrender is lifting your hands and saying, no, I cannot do this thing again. Can we do a surrender? Okay? You get part of your money. You may not get everything.
Full amount.
But you'll get part of your money. But again, it's after the 3rd year. For most of the insurance providers in Kenya today in the market, after the 3rd year, you have got a surrender value. Okay. That is number 1. And it has really hit many people, because people think it's the only option. It is not. It is just one of them. There's also something that we call paid up. Paid up means I've paid this thing religiously for 7 years. It was supposed to last for 10 years. It's only 3 years to go. I mean, everybody should, the provider should be able to consider that. And if you just write and tell us or tell the insurance company, the provider, that I'm not able to pay, this has happened, please hold on to my policy until the time we had agreed, and then we can, you can pay whatever amount I've paid, plus the growth thereof. It will have expired at some point, to have lapsed, maybe on the protection part, but on the investment part, it is still there. And the insurance provider will hold that policy for you. There's a third option, which is called contribution break. You can actually take a break. Yeah, say that I'm not able to pay for the next 1 or 2 years. Please give me a break. We'll pick it up. Yeah. Okay. So long as you write it down. Yeah. But many people, they go there, they keep quiet, they are struggling, they are overwhelmed, they are not talking. They don't write to the insurance provider, they don't visit their offices. They only come when things have gone, the time has passed. Yeah. And most of the insurance providers will give you some time. Okay. Yeah. So long as you communicate and you are aware of your rights, there is no chance, there is a chance that you cannot lose. Yeah, and that loss is what has beaten many things. And when you write to the company and all about the break, there will be no punishment or penalty? There would be no penalty per se. Okay. The penalty comes, so the insurance provider, and the insurance consumer, the client, we had agreed 10 years. Now I've taken a 2-year break. Yeah. I don't know whether you call that punishment, because those 2 years will be added. Okay. If it was to mature in the year 2030, it will now mature in the year 2032. I don't know whether you call that punishment. But you see also the principles of growing money, they apply to the insurance company as well. They need to recover the time that we have lost. So the years will be added, but you cannot lose. But sometimes people are not aware of those. And if you are in that space, our viewers, maybe somebody is in that space and they are at the verge of losing, or they have lapsed their policies, please arise. Go speak to your insurance company. Ask for a conversation. Most of them, it is not the failure of the insurance company. It is not the omission of the insurance company that has caused maybe some people to lose their policies. It is the failure of us, because we don't communicate. If you buy a piece of land and you leave it unfenced, you don't know who can come and build. You come later and find it has been built on. Awesome. Thank you, Elizabeth. Time is far much gone, and I'm told we need to call it a day. But before that, maybe your parting shot in as far as today's topic, understanding and misunderstanding of insurance is concerned. Understanding and misunderstanding. Let's say that insurance is a tool of personal finance planning. We need to embrace it. Whether or not, sometimes people say that they are not able to take insurance because they are struggling financially. Actually, when things are difficult, that's when you need to make sure that you are covered. Because if something happens, like during COVID, or when life is happening, if something happens and you're not covered, that is the time you are likely to fall into a financial catastrophe. Because now you are in a bad situation, now life has happened, you are in a worse situation. So it is good to ensure that your covers are working at any one time. Please keep reviewing them, ensure that you are well covered, and in case anybody has got an insurance need that has not been addressed, or they are not aware of their insurance needs or their policies, or how different policies work, or what can work for them, they can reach out. Even personally, I provide insurance as a tool for personal finance planning, but it's very, very important for all of us to be covered in insurance. Yes. And now that you say we can get in touch with you, how can we get in touch with you? Yes, you can get in touch with me. I do provide insurance solutions. I'm on social media as Atika Africa. Our website is www.atikafrica.com. Atika Africa is ATTIQUE.com, atikafrica.com. You can even chat me up on my number, 0727 143313. For all your insurance and another personal finance needs, I'm available for you. Coach, that is financial coach, money coach as well, an author, and also a trainer. Elizabeth Waithaka, thank you so very much for your time, for your sacrifice, for the wisdom and the knowledge. I told you that you have this gifting of breaking it down
to understandable levels. And for that, we say asante sana.
Thank
and
you.
regards to everyone, your family, your company as well, asante sana.
Asante.
Asante.
Okay.
And I know you have learned a thing or two as we were trying to understand insurance. If there is one topic that is misunderstood, it is insurance. But because of today's conversation, I know you are better positioned, better equipped now, even as you are taking those insurance policies. Due diligence, that is what also I'm being reminded. It is very important for you to undertake due diligence before taking that insurance policy. Thank you so very much for your time. On behalf of everyone, including my co-host Beatrice Nudi, we are wishing you a blessed and a fruitful day ahead. See you tomorrow. God willing, tomorrow being Tuesday, it's one day at a time. From me, George Gishoro, it's Kwaheri for now.